Alright, you little mathematicians. Today we are going to learn about solving simple inequalities. We are also going to deal with how to graph inequalities on number lines. So here are some definitions of what inequalities are. These should look pretty familiar to you. This means greater than, this means less than, this means greater than or equal to, and this means less than or equal to. We're just going to have to memorize these. Please take your notebook out and write these down in your notes. Definitely want to have these on hand. Thanks. And now let's look at our first problem. At the store, William bought a bag of tomatoes that weighs more than 5 pounds. So we don't know much about this bag of tomatoes. We just know that it weighs more than 5 pounds. So think for a moment. What could the bag of tomatoes weigh? Here are a handful of possible answers, and I want you to, in your mind, select the ones that are valid. What are some possible weights of this bag of tomatoes? 10 pounds, 20, 2, 5, 5.00000001? Well, the correct answer would be, yeah, it could weigh 10 pounds. That's more than 5 pounds. Sure, it could weigh 20 pounds. That's more than 5 pounds. No, it could not weigh 2 pounds because that is not more than 5 pounds. Also, this is important, it couldn't weigh 5 pounds. If we said the bag of tomatoes is more than 5 pounds, then it could not possibly weigh exactly 5 pounds. However, it could weigh 5.00000001 pounds. That would be acceptable. It's not much more than 5 pounds, but it is more. So here's our inequality. The bag's weight is greater than 5 pounds. Now we want to graph this inequality. The way we do that is by marking all the points that the bag's weight could possibly be. So we know it could possibly be 6 pounds, could possibly be 7 pounds, could possibly be 8. It could even be somewhere between 7 and 8 pounds. It could even be anywhere in between that. So what you actually do is just draw a line to show it could be any of those values. All those values heading off. It could also be 1 billion pounds, right? It could be somewhere way down there. Now when we get down to 5, however, this is where we have to be careful because we know it can be very close to 5, but it can't actually be 5. The way we represent that is by putting an open circle on 5 to say that it can't be 5 itself. It can't actually be right here, but it can be anywhere past 5. Remember that open circle. And here's our second problem. Eva has at most $20 in her wallet. What are some possible amounts that she could have in her wallet? So she has at most $20. That's another way of saying she doesn't have more than $20. So let's think about some possible amounts that she could have in her wallet. Could she have 20, 21, 5, 19? Think about that. Here's our answer. She could have 19, definitely, because she has at most $20. She could have 5, because that's not more than $20. She could not have 21, that would be more than 20, and she has at most 20. Now $20 itself, think about this one. It says she has at most 20. That's another way of saying she doesn't have more than 20. So $20 itself is a possibility. And let's look at graphing this. Here once again we start with our inequality. Eva's money is less than or equal to $20. So let's just start putting some possible values on our graph. She could have 15, she could have 16, she could have 16 and a half, she could have 17, 17 and a half, 18, 19. Now, could she have 20? Well, remember what we just said. Yeah, if she has 20, that is less than or equal to $20. It's equal to $20, so that does count. And then we'd want to shade in all these other possibilities down here. Eva can have any of those possibilities. Any of that amount of money would satisfy this statement that she has less than $20. So when you're doing the statements that have less than or equal to or greater than or equal to, on your graph, your dot will be filled in. When you're doing statements like we did earlier of just greater than or less than, you will make a dot and not fill it in. Complete the questions on the Google form, and we'll see you in class tomorrow.